Okay, hello. I'm going to rattle through this really quickly. This is, you know, Madonna's fake death prediction for tomorrow. I doubt she's really going to die. It'll probably be another fake job. Um, but this is for 10/22/2025, the date that we're looking at, which is tomorrow's date. I've started this pretty late at night. Anyway, I'm going to try and rattle through this, okay, really quickly. I'm just going to go back over this decode. I've shown it, I think, at least once or twice in this current format for this particular day. We also have it existing for the 20th of August as well. It worked for that date as well. But we're looking at the 22nd of October for this particular date. Okay, crack on, Dan. Okay, Ipet goat. First thing to note is this reference to the goat, right? Second thing to note is in this scene, so we have the black Madonna here with the the dead or dying prodigal son. Okay, both are essentially in the dead format. We have the Lombardi Trophy here, yeah. So this is a reference back to the Super Bowl. So the first thing we need to do is we need to go to Madonna's Super Bowl halftime show. Note when they come into the Super Bowl halftime show, we've got these big feathers, or wings actually is what they really are. And you'll note that at the Hoover Dam we have the winged angels, okay, right? And not only at the Hoover, let's just look at the back of the Hoover Dam here, well, the back, the face, the actual dam itself, okay. And then as we look at Madonna coming in, we're going to see that she is on a dam-shaped throne. Now at the Hoover Dam also has these long legs or arms coming out of the base of it. So this whole thing matches up quite nicely with the Hoover Dam. Not to mention, this is all, see the Egyptian stuff down here. That sort of reference ties back with the Hoover Dam because the Hoover Dam is all Art Deco. Art Deco is highly influenced by Egyptian art. Yada, 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 okay? Anyway, she's coming in and she is going to, we don't want to go too far here, but I don't really want to play it either because I'm sure, gosh, come on. We want to get the spot where she's having a little dance up on the dam. Okay, look, she's climbing on the dam here, okay? Like a goat would climb on a dam, okay? If you've ever seen ibex goat, they'll climb across a dam to go and get minerals out of it that are seeping through the face of the dam. Anyway, she's climbing on the dam like a goat. She's got the goat headdress on. Okay, so we're connecting back with Ipet goat, this scene, Ipet goat. Okay, Ipet goat, Ipet goat. Now, they did a little ritual at the Hoover Dam. Sorry I didn't put the date in here for it, but what they did is they shone this logo for Cologne FC there in Germany. They put their logo, no doubt a goat, they call him the Billy Goat, and he does have a name. It's like Hennes or something like that. Hennes. Oh, right here. That's interesting with Madonna's surname being Ciccone, like the chicken and the hen reference. Kind of interesting. Anyway, the Billy Goats. Okay, the Billy Goats. So they put this up on the Hoover Dam, as you can see here, right? And they had a bunch of other stuff with this whole thing. Remember, this idea of this being the projection screen is very important. It's a bit like the monolith idea. And how many times have we seen, the screen used as a reference to going into the metaphysical, okay? Seeing into Pandora's box, so to speak. All that good stuff, right? But anyway, here is the goat on the dam, the same as what Madonna is doing here, climbing on the dam, okay? So the reference here, back to football now, okay? If we look at the Cologne FC logo, it's actually funny because it's a bit like the Hoover Vacuum Company logo as well, but it's 1FC, which translates in numbers to 1.0. 1.63. Now, what is interesting about 1.63 is if you know anything about, well, let's put it this way. Madonna's birthday is golden ratio numbers. Yeah, 1.618, which encompasses her birthday numbers, which is the 16th of August. Those numbers there are the first numbers of the golden ratio, which is all to do with balance. Okay, and we see it's to do with balance and things that we can see in the physical world, right? So if I go to this chart of mine, don't get too confused with this, but this is Lucas numbers right here. This is something you can go and look up, Lucas numbers. And to cut a long story short, this is the middle of this chart, right? And what we're looking for is balance, okay? And that's what the golden ratio is. It's balance between two things, right? These are our middle numbers in this table, 11 and 18, right? So we're trying to find, the balance between this right now. Again, to cut a long story short, if you take any two numbers in here, any old random numbers, you can divide one of these by the other one and you will get an approximation of the golden ratio. Okay, this is the Fibonacci sequence up here, and I don't really want to spend a ton of time explaining this, but you can find an approximation for the golden ratio. Now the point to this is the middle of this table here are these two numbers. If I now take 18 divided by 11, okay, that is going to equal 1.6363. Come on, Dan. 66363 reoccurring. Okay, we'll put little dots up there. So that goes on forever, that 6-3 thing. Okay, super duper interesting, right? Because this is the approximation for the golden ratio for phi, and again, Madonna's birthday is the numbers of the golden ratio. Okay. Anyway, she comes in on that golden throne. She's all in black. She's the Black Madonna. What more to say? Apart from, this is where this decode gets really interesting, because the prodigal son in this match that was played at the Super Bowl, the prodigal son, or the man of the match, was Eli, and interesting with the name Eli, yeah, Manning, the man of God himself, born 3rd of January 1981. So if we now take the prodigal son here and we run his numbers through to this particular date that's coming up tomorrow, going to be here in about 10 minutes, 20 minutes, his numbers come out at 163636363. Okay, for tomorrow. It'll also work. Excuse me. I think it also. No, it doesn't also work. It worked for today, so it's got to be. I guess it worked for today into tomorrow, right? So we're looking at the 22nd of October here, okay? And this 1.63 working for that. Now, if we go back to Ipet Go, just to add a little bit more in here, if we look at the tears on the Madonna's face, what we can see, these black tears, we can now spell out E here with this top tears, and then L, and then I here. Okay, so we have Eli spelled out in the tears that she's weeping for. She's weeping for Eli. Okay, so that was just another little thing in there. I mean, there's a ton of other stuff in here, but we haven't got time to faff around with it right now. But there we go. Eli is in here. Yeah, the prodigal son. Now, Eli has a brother, and we've done a ton of stuff All I'm going to say about this is that this dude connects into the dollar bill, Madonna connects into the dollar bill, the Hoover Dam connects into the dollar bill, Peyton Manning connects into the dollar bill, all on the same fold. It's the 1011 fold. It's the pi fold, okay? If you've ever seen my dollar bill decodes. Oh, and JFK also ties into that fold as well, okay? So there's three of them. There's at least three of them that tie into this, and there's several other people, of course, that tie into it as well with the same numbers. But let's go to Peyton Manning now and just have a look. Here was the calculator version at 11 divided by 18 divided by 11, 1.63. So you can just see that on the calculator there. Let's make sure I'm telling the truth. Here is Peyton Manning. Now, if you recall, earlier on in the year, we were looking at Peyton Manning, and to do with Back to the Future, we had a decode in there with Ozzy and this connection back with football. And in fact, before Ozzy died, I did have a little prediction on the 22nd of July, saying something interesting might happen with this dude here. Turns out that, well, on the surface, it didn't look connected with Ozzy Osbourne, but in the reverse Jurassic Liars reverse alphabet cipher, what I call it, Ozzy Osbourne equals, what does it equal? It equals foot, F-O-T B-A-A-L, football or bail, or however you want to say that, but football with Ozzy is referenced, and obviously this guy connects back to football, okay? And so there was some connections in Back to the Future with the yellow Honda. I don't want to spend a bunch of time talking about it, but there was some connections back with Peyton Manning and the alarm clock and Ozzy. Tons of little connections, okay? Anyway, I thought it'd be interesting just to put his numbers in from his birthday through now to this particular date. And lo and behold, it's 1811. Remember what we were just doing? 18 divided by 11 to get that number with Eli Manning and Madonna and Peyton Manning through to this date. 1811 numerology. Absolutely mental. That is crazy. Okay. What else we got in here, Dan? Come on. I've got some random number jumps. I think what I want to do. Hang on, let's just do this Vogue one. So when she's coming in, the first song that she's singing in here is Vogue, right? So probably one should look at the song Vogue, March the 20th, 1990. Let's see where that brings us out to this particular date. March 20th, 1990. Right on the number 13. Okay, 13,000 days. Or if we like, we can do 131. Now remember, it's 131 days from Madonna's birthday through to Christmas. That 131 is a super duper connection with Madonna, and it leads us back to the train. Let me show you the train while I got it here. In Back to the Future again, the 131 train. This is all to do with Madonna, I'm pretty sure. This is the Black Madonna going over the cliff, you know, crashing, and the end of it, so to speak, before Marty is reborn across the Golden Gate Bridge. Okay, now this coincides with this train wreck, Montparnasse in Paris. Okay, back in 1895, this train crashes out of the station onto the pavement below. I've just talked about this in several decodes recently as well. Day of the Jackal, we were talking about this as well. It happens on the 22nd of October 1895. Coincidentally, that is what 113 30 years ago. Okay, and of course, if you want to get to the 131, you just include end date. 131, 130 years, 1 day. Okay, so the 131 train works for now. Okay, I think it's also Doc. I don't have it in here, but it's Christopher Lloyd's. I believe it's his 88th birthday, if I recall. Which is interesting. With when this baby hits 88, you're going to see some serious shit. Okay, so anyway, on the train theme, let me just carry on the train theme. The reason why the train theme is interesting with Madonna, let me just show you something real quick. Where have I got it? Well, I thought I had it in here. Yeah, here it is. If we look at Madonna and train, you'll notice that they're a triple match. Okay, so pretty good match. What else have we got here? Let me get to this other bit where, so shortly after Marty makes his leap back and the steam train there is blown up, the DeLorean gets smashed up as well. And again, this is another symbol for Madonna. And this train here, or locomotive, I just call it a train, okay, is going to smash into the DeLorean. Now, you know, smash that thing up, right? Now, let me just show you something. In Who's That Girl, okay, Madonna is driving this, she's driving the Rolls Royce, and she swerves in front of a very similar looking locomotive. Okay, I don't know if it's exactly the same one, but you can see this is Back to the Future, and this is Who's That Girl. Okay, and she's going in front of, and again, the Rolls Royce is also another temple reference. Yeah, if you look at the grille on the Rolls Royce, it's the Greek temple. Okay, the front radiator and all that bump there. So it's the clock tower reference again. Also, don't forget that Marty is going to avoid an accident in part 3 there, right at the end. He's going to avoid an accident with the Rolls Royce, right? Okay. What else we got in here? I got some more number jumps. What's this number jump? So there's also, if we just look at Who's That Girl, the song that Madonna released, tying into the film, June the 29th, 87, that date there, there's also another date for this, and it's the 23rd of June. Years ago, this used to be the 23rd of June. They've changed it. Okay, let's look at the 23rd of June, 87 for the release of that song through to the death of Madonna. 14001. Okay, these are Charlie Kirk numbers popping up. This is clock tower numerology here. Okay, Back to the Future, when the clock stops. We've just had 121. Well, today is 121. Okay, 121, the lightning. Okay, 121 gigawatts. So what else we got here, Dan? I'm going to go to the end of the Super Bowl, her Super Bowl halftime show. Madonna sings Like a Prayer. Okay, interesting with the album there, and this is kind of interesting with the crown here on the album. Art here with the French jewels just being stolen. There's probably a connection there or something, but I can't be bothered. 3rd of March, 89. Okay, 3389. I feel like we had a guy, I don't know if he was 89 when he was born though. We definitely had a 3rd of March reference, just maybe I didn't do the video on it yet, I don't know. But anyway, the release of that, and I've gone through to the Hoover Dam date now. Okay, this is the 10th of November this year. Okay, let's look at this number. Okay, check it out. 13,041. 41. So I keep missing zeros out now. I can't, every time I look at a number now, I just get rid. That's gone. 13,401. Look at the composite number here. Absolutely interesting. 11811. So you have that 1118 idea there in a balanced number, like at the middle of this thing. Okay, super duper interesting. And you know, I can't emphasize enough just how connected in Charlie Kirk stuff was with the 29 numbers and the White Wedding connections. Okay, what else we got? Let's go through some of these number jumps real quick. Let's go right back to the beginning. Now I've got JFK's assassination through, because this 1122 is on the dollar bill in conjunction. The 10 and 11 are in conjunction with one another on the dollar bill in the pie fold. Okay, and in each corner there are two bunny ears. Okay, so we have the 22 referenced, and so 1122 and 1022 are tied together like that, just as you see Madonna do all the, I've done a video on this ages ago as well, all of the stuff impersonating Marilyn Monroe, or at least, you know, doing photo shoots where they do the same. Basically they're just doing the same pictures as Marilyn Monroe did once upon a time. Now don't forget, Marilyn Monroe and JFK had a thing, and the famous "Happy Birthday, Mr. President," yada yada yada. Okay, so there's this connection back with Madonna and JFK, and again, I just wanted to show this really mainly for this number here, which is 20089 on the composite here. Now we've just been going through 289 numbers in the last video or two back. I can't remember now, maybe it was the last video. 289 numbers, and with Charlie Kirk 289 numbers. Super duper interesting. Right, what else we got here? Oh, Die Another Day, the Bond film. She's in this Bond film. Again, they use the JFK numbers here as one of the release dates. Got the 133 tying back with Charlie Kirk again. And if we do that 20th of November release date through to her birthday, we've got some nice numbers here. You know, we've got the 168 numbers of her birthday popping back up again. Quite interesting. Oh, and one other thing, from, I don't have it in here, but from her birthday through to the 22nd is, she will be 67 years old, 67 days. In fact, I probably should have put that in here. We could just actually whack that in real quick just to show you. Okay, so 6767, and if we just look, so 6767, if we just look what 67 is, it's the 19th prime. Okay, amongst other things, of course. We've got that 131 showing up again, 92, 29 numbers. Super interesting there as well. Anyway, she released her song Die Another Day for the film October the 22nd, and the film ties back with Who's That Girl, because they have this fencing scene, yeah, sword fighting, fencing, the same as what they have in Who's That Girl. Okay, so it's all this stuff all ties together. Got loads of videos in the back catalogue about it. October the 22nd, 2002. That'll be 23 years ago. Okay, I don't know if I've got that. We have it in, oh, here it is. 23 years, and just look what it equals. 8401. Now remember, we were doing a lot of this 814 right here is a 814 is 28 days earlier than 9/11. It's a hidden number that is in Lucas numbers, and Pluto numbers are also encoded within Lucas numbers. This is why this Pluto thing is so important with Lucas numbers. You can also do this and get the 842. Yeah, Bye Bye Miss American Pie, 8 minutes 42 long. She did a version of it. There's some interesting numbers there as well with when she released that. But if we go read that in reverse, this is 248 years now for our Pluto return. Lots of Pluto references in Back to the Future, okay? What else? 9/11 through to 10/22, 8808. This is really interesting with, of course, Christopher Lloyd. This is his birthday. I believe it's his 88th birthday, and you see that synchronism there, okay? 8888 is 1068 in the composite here. The 888 composite number is 1068 again. Madonna numerology for her birthday. This is Madonna's son Rocco through to this particular date. Look at this, 9203, 923 numerology, 923. Okay, again that ties back with plutonium. Also ties back with a lot of other stuff. Personal reference for me, and a lot of people were looking at this date for rapture. What else have we got? Oh, this is just that same. No, this isn't that same number jump. Yes, it is the same number jump. Oh no, this is sorry. This is Die Another Day, the song, through to the 10/11 Hoover Dam date in the dollar bill. 8420. So we've got the 842 showing up the same again. Okay, so that's pretty mental. I wonder if that's anything special as well. Let's just look. Not really. No, nothing special there. At least not on the surface. So I think I've done everything. Let me just show you this. This is Lady Gaga's 911 video. Okay. Notice what's showing up here. The same as Ipet Goat, the Black Madonna, the Prodigal Son. Okay. Notice that. In this video, there is a reference to the Hoover Dam. There's a reference to, I believe, the Space Needle. There's a reference to the Golden Gate Bridge. We're not going to go through all of that stuff right now. Note that just right in this scene with her behind, this little character here that reminds me of either Harry Potter or the little character type thing that is in Who's That Girl? And there's also to cut a long story short, there's also a box in Who's That Girl as well, with some like kryptonite in it or something. The box, but anyway, it's like Pandora's box. Okay. Anyway, that thing's going into the box there, which is, you know, with the little sword or the little wand going into the box. A death reference maybe, but what's more important in this scene, so that's going in the box there, and what is more important in this scene is this little bit. Let me see, I think I've gone by it. Let me just play this, okay, and just look at this Space Needle top of the plutonium chamber. Lots of different references here. See that arm just disappear there? In the video for Die Another Day, the song, there is a suit of armor where the arm falls off the suit of armor, and this is kind of a bit like a gauntlet type thing. I think that's a reference to that, and she's also doing this thing with her hand coming down here, okay, like this is coming off. And there's a ton of other references here, but we ain't, you know, we don't need to do that. But just to note, a Madonna reference in here. Behind is the Hoover Dam reference. Let's see if I can, let me just show, well, can I show you that? I don't think so. Anyway, it don't really matter. If something happens, we'll go back for all this stuff. Okay, right. So that's pretty much most of it, I think. What was this here? Let's go through some of these numbers. This is the starting point of Colne FC, the football club. Notice it's a 38-38. Note that in her funeral rites video, there was multiple references to the 38. Okay, with the 38 special revolver and 38 on the shoe and yada yada yada. This was the release date of that. Notice through to this particular day is 237, 237, okay, or 238, but 237, and also they had two different dates for the release of that. So 236, like the release date of Who's That Girl, the 23rd of June. This was the other release date, and make your choice what one you want to pick. For some reason, they managed to wangle two release dates for that. And 237, room 237. Okay, the scene in The Shining. Okay, the bathroom scene, and we just had that re-referenced again with Taylor Swift at the end of her Ophelia video. There's a reference to that as well. Okay, what else we got? I think I've pretty much covered everything that I really wanted to cover. Yeah, that's it. The train, 131 train, this train. I mean, it's all the same stuff we've gone through before. There's just a lot of stuff working for this particular date, you know. Who's that girl? Yeah, I think we've done everything. Yes, we have. Okay, well, anyway, we'll keep our eyes and ears peeled for tomorrow and probably into the 23rd as well. Yeah, probably nothing will happen though, you know. It's actually today now. Probably nothing will happen, but you know, it'll be interesting just to see if there is a story, or like I said, the prediction I did the other day actually ties into some of those numbers, and some of those ideas was tying into the idea of what does it tie into the idea of? The Channel Tunnel, Dan. So this the French Connection, the tunnel between the train tunnel as well, between the underground tunnel, between the subway, between France and England. Okay, so you know there's elements of, you know, if it were to happen in that tunnel on the train, there would be references back to Diana with the tunnel. Of course, I showed you that stuff in Back to the Future that connected back with the channel, and it's just absolutely mental if something were to happen. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave it there. Just coincidentally, I'm not going to do a decode on this film, but I watched Guy Ritchie, again, Guy Ritchie's Madonna's husband. I watched his, what was it called? The Covenant, okay? And it's about American troops in Afghanistan. That film ends with they come through a tunnel onto a dam. That's how that film ends. There's a few Charlie Kirk references in there, and with that film, I might actually do a quick decode on it, but with that film, we've got Donnie Darko himself, Jake Gyllenhaal, as the main character, and I can't remember the name of the guy, what he's playing. I feel like it's something like John Kinley or something, but it gives you the JK reference, and the JK reference is the 1011 reference for the Hoover Dam. Okay, and it has the wings on his little emblem and everything else. Okay, so I keep seeing stuff in films. I just don't have time to do a bunch of decodes. I'm sorry, just be busy. So anyway, but that's just another one, you know, another one to go look up, The Covenant, and this reference back to the Hoover Dam, and of course it ties in with Madonna because of Guy Ritchie, and yada yada yada. Okay, thanks for watching. Check out another one soon. All right, cheers, bye.